Welcome back to Inglés 4.0, the radio show. Let's go! Intermediate. All right, welcome back to Intermediate Class 63. As always, starting with a little review from the last class. Ask me if there will be a golf tournament in Madrid tomorrow. Kyle, will there be a golf tournament in Madrid tomorrow? No, I don't think so. I don't know. But I'm going to say no, there won't be a golf tournament in Madrid tomorrow. No. Ask me if there will be a party in my house next weekend. Kyle, will there be a party in your house next weekend? No, not next weekend. No, there won't be a party in my house next weekend. Ask me if there will be a thunderstorm in Texas next week. Will there be a thunderstorm in Texas next week? Yes, there will be a thunderstorm in Texas next week. Ask me if there will be a baseball game on television tomorrow. A baseball game. Kyle, will there be a baseball game on television tomorrow? No, there won't be a baseball game on television tomorrow. No, there won't. Game. It's more common in America to say game, and in North America, which includes Canada and the United States and Mexico as well. Mexico is part of North America, but it's more common in North American English to say a game for partido and a match. A match is more British. So when we say a football match, I'm thinking about what I could call in Canada soccer, football. In North America, it is called soccer, so we would use the word game, whereas match is the more European word for partido. So for me, because I've lived in Spain for 6 years, when I talk about football, Spanish football, or in English now, after being here for 6 years, I say football, and I say a football match, because I associate that sport with the word match. But I would always say a hockey game, a baseball game, because they're North American sports. So no, there won't be a baseball game on TV tomorrow. Television. Ask me if there will be a lot of traffic in Madrid on the next puente, long weekend. I'll say the next long weekend. Ask me if there will be a lot of traffic in Madrid on the next long weekend. Kyle, will there be a lot of traffic in Madrid on the next long weekend? Yes, there will be a lot of traffic in Madrid on the next long weekend. Ask me if there will be a meeting in the office tomorrow. Kyle, will there be a meeting in the office tomorrow? Yes, there will be a meeting in the office tomorrow. Now, yesterday we also looked at the phrasal verb to look up, which is to consult in a dictionary or directory, buscar en diccionario, or an encyclopedia, or on the internet. So I look up words in the dictionary. Yesterday, I looked up 3 words in the dictionary. Yesterday, I looked up 5 definitions in the dictionary to look up. And I also looked up the address to a Japanese restaurant, and I looked up a phone number for an office in Madrid. I consulted my directory. I looked up the phone number. Now, you look up the thing that you are looking for, que estás buscando, but you look it up in the directory, in the resource, in the book, in the guide, okay? On the internet, on the internet. I looked up his address in the telephone book. I looked up their phone number on the internet. On the internet. On the internet. On the internet. In the book. I read it in the book. I looked it up in the book. I looked it up in the dictionary. I looked it up on the internet. I looked it up on Wikipedia or on Google. On Google. Yeah, I looked it up on Google. I looked it up in the book, in the guide, in the yellow pages, right? The paper-based version of the yellow pages. Okay? So how many definitions did you look up yesterday? Oh, 3? You looked up 3 definitions? Very good. Well done. You looked up 3 definitions. That's good. All right.
Word of the day.
Yes, now it is time for our word of the day. Our word of the day today is, well, it's actually 3 words. In Spanish, 1 word, bastantes. But in English, we say quite a few. Quite a few. So with plural things, bastantes, there are quite a few Americans in Madrid. There are quite a few. Now, we also have the structure a few. Hay pocos. There are few. There are few Eskimos in Madrid. Or muy pocos. Very few. Very few. Muy pocos. Very few. But if we say there are quite a few, then we're saying bastantes. Quite a few. Okay, so we can't assign a specific number, but bastantes, quite a few, is implying that there's a reasonably large number or a greater number than expected or surprisingly high number of these things. For example, if I have 10 CDs, if you expect that I only have 1, but I have 10, you'll say, oh, you have quite a few CDs. 10, son bastantes, quite a few CDs. But if everyone else has 100 and I only have 10, you could say Kyle has very few CDs. He only has 10. In both cases, I have 10 CDs. But in the first case, I have quite a few because you expected less. So I have a greater number than expected. I have quite a few. Quite a few CDs. Right? Whereas if we expect a great number and I only have a few, you could say he has very few, muy pocos. He has very few CDs. He only has 10. Everyone else has 100. CDs, discos. How many CDs do you have? Sorry, how many? Do you have 100? I probably have, I don't know, maybe 50 CDs, but I don't really buy them very much anymore. And I think a lot of people don't buy them. I don't think that many people, well, I'm sure a lot of people still buy them, but I don't know. It's probably not a business that I would want to start to operate in, you know. It seems more people are buying music on the internet these days, electronically and not physically owning a disc, right? All right, now as we move ahead into Class 63, it's time to deal with some grammar. Yeah, it's time to deal with. Tratar con. Okay? This is our irregular verb of the day. To deal with. To deal with. Now, we're saying to deal with, but we have the verb, simply the verb to deal. To deal, which is like to distribute. You can deal cards. At the casino, there is a dealer, like a blackjack dealer who deals the cards. This is not, in English, it's not a croupier. A croupier is for roulette. A dealer is for cards, for blackjack or poker. But dealer deals the cards, right? But so we have this verb to deal, but we say deal with, which is tratar con. So here in Spain, I deal with Spanish people. My clients, my students are Spanish. I deal with Spanish people. I also deal with a lot of English speakers in Von Systems. I deal with other teachers. I deal with a lot of different people. I deal with a lot of foreigners who work with Von Systems. And Von Systems deals with a lot of different people and people from different nationalities, right? I mostly deal with Spanish people, but I deal with a lot of American people, and I deal with a lot of British people as well. I don't deal with very many Canadians, because there aren't very many Canadians in Madrid. But I deal with a few. Every once in a while, de vez en cuando, every once in a while, de vez en cuando, every once in a while, I deal with a Canadian. And I enjoy it. I enjoy dealing with fellow Canadians. It's true. Yes. So to deal with. So, do you give me an affirmative answer? Do you deal with John regularly? Yes, I deal with John regularly. Did you deal with him yesterday? Yes, I dealt with him yesterday. Do you deal with the police every day? Yes, I deal with the police every day. Did you deal with the police yesterday? Yes, I dealt with the police yesterday. Do you deal with your friends? Yes, I deal with my friends. Did you deal with your friends yesterday? Yes, I dealt with my friends yesterday. Do you deal with the media very often? Yes, I deal with the media often, very often. Did you deal with the media yesterday? Yes, I dealt with the media yesterday. Do you deal with Susan regularly? Yes, I deal with Susan regularly. Did you deal with her yesterday? Yes, I dealt with her. I dealt with. So to deal with. It's a phrasal verb. Deal with. Deal with. But this is not separable. Yesterday, we looked at a phrasal verb. We saw the phrasal verb to look up, which we just reviewed. And I said that this was a separable phrasal verb. Yesterday in the class, I mentioned how it is separable, which is why we say, I looked up the word in the dictionary. I looked it up in the dictionary. We changed the word order when we introduced the pronoun. But to deal with is not a separable phrasal verb. It is an inseparable, which means we cannot separate the verb and the preposition. It stays together. So we say to deal with. I dealt with Susan yesterday. I deal with Alonso very often. Ask me if he dealt with her. Kyle, did he deal with her? Yes, he dealt with her. Ask me when he dealt with her. When did he deal with her? He dealt with her yesterday. Ask me if she dealt with the problem. Did she deal with the problem? Yes, she dealt with the problem. Ask me if we dealt with it. Kyle, did we deal with it? Yes, we dealt with it. We dealt with it. Very good. Vocabulary of the day. All right, it is time now for our vocabulary of the day. That's right, our 5 words of vocabulary. The first word today, adjudiciar, premiar, to award, to award. So the verb to award. Now we have the noun, an award. And you can win an award, un premio. But the verb to award, premiar, to award. Barack Obama was awarded with the Nobel Peace Prize. So here, you're receiving the award. And the second one, discutir. Acaloradamente. Discutir. To argue. To argue. And asignar. Asignar. To assign. To assign. I always assign homework to my students. I assign homework to them all the time, every day. Convocar una reunión. To call a meeting. To call a meeting. Yes. To call a meeting. Mortal. Deadly. Deadly. Like a deadly snake. A deadly... Cyanide is deadly. It's a deadly poison. It will kill you. Cyanide. It is deadly. Deadly. Yes, because it causes death. All right, it's time to move on now. We have another translation list for you. Yeah, that's right. It's time to take a look at translation list number 10. Translation. Yes, all right. Translation list number 10 here. Moving right along. We're moving quickly through the material here. List 10 already. Okay, number 1. Viven muy lejos de aquí. They live very far from here. And number 2. Tardo una hora en crear una lista. It takes me an hour to create a list. It takes me. Tardo. It. We say it. We use it as the subject. It takes me an hour to create a list. And number 3. Esta lista no es tan fácil como la última. This list isn't as easy as the last one. Tan como. As. This list isn't as easy as the last one. Number 4. ¿A dónde ibas cuando te vi? Where were you going when I saw you? Where were you going when I saw you? And number 5. Quiero que tengas esto. I want you to have this. I want you to have this. I want you to have this. And number 6, significa mucho para mí. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to me. A lot. Mucho. It means a lot to me. These lists mean a lot to me. So I don't like to rush them. But we're out of time. I know. Already? Yes, I know. I'm sorry, but we are out of time. I have to take a break. And we've only done 6 of that list. 6 sentences. So tomorrow, I will review it. We will review the whole list. I promise. Okay, so tune in tomorrow, same time, same place, and we'll practice with that list. So get out your translation book at home and study them and see if you can get them all right on the radio tomorrow. Okay, I'll see you then. Bye-bye.